What's up, guys? James again with the subject of supposed to speak. So it's gonna be a little short one. I've got to be out of here in 12 minutes tops for physical therapy. Can't wait to get this hamstring ground out. It's been kind of nagging on me, but yeah. So are kind of resolving themselves in a direction that's at least palatable for now. Maybe not quite palatable, but sustainable. Let's put it that way. My manager from the full-time gig, the security gig at the biotech firm, he called me up today. I called him back, and he was very understanding and cool. Just said, well, we'll have to honor, sort of the exceptions that I'll need to the normal way in which they go about things, and just explain he was willing to sort of just keep me at a regular full-time clip and not have me work overtime. That's gonna, just kind of make me sick and depressed. So, you know, that was encouraging. At least I know that things are sort of stable and secure there, and that I haven't fucked things up beyond repair now, at this point. Even though I have been sick, genuinely. But, it's just kind of this process whereby we sort of negotiate what it is that we need, and this is the process of human life. Sometimes it's hard to just come right out and say what you need for various reasons. We bottle things up, hold things back, and people want to work with you. They'll push through that, and they'll ask you to be honest. And I guess I'm encouraged that my guy over there, cares enough to insist on that. So there's that. As much as I hate being there some days, I don't know. It's just something I've got to work with and work through for now. Try and find a reason to smile, I guess. On the other front, with the patent law stuff, it's kind of crunch time. I've got these little cases, little response I need to do. What's interesting to me psychologically is that I keep fucking things up, and I keep making these little stupid errors that require correction and oversight. And what else is interesting is that when I review with my boss, it's like he's in such a good mood to be just talking to me, because he likes me so much, and he likes, our connection. He enjoys, I think, the idea that he's helping me. It's complex. I think he's also just kind of lonely and maybe a little needy, and I understand that. But it's like he fails to see some glaring errors that are just coursing through the the work that I'm submitting to him. And I'm the one who's soliciting his review. Maybe he doesn't care. Again, these are like last minute cases and hard client cases, so his attitude, seeing as though he's doing it kind of on his off time anyways, it's like, fuck it, I'm not going to be too focused on this. And we do have an extensive mechanism of oversight that involves our office manager. So she was able to spot some things that he wasn't able to. I'm just hoping that the rest of the response didn't just get his cursory attention, because it'll just be bounced right back to us, and it'll just reflect poorly on me. Some of the arguments were a little lackadaisical. I didn't really push too hard. I just kind of, well, and that's the funny thing is with the PTO, it's like it seems like the more intellectual effort I put into things, the more the more they just kind of laugh and balk, and so part of it is just going through the motions, and I guess that's part of what sort of turns me off about it. I don't like doing that, and I feel like the world today is so full of that. Like professors I've had at the college who just go through the motions, and they just get the job because they have a PhD, but they don't give a shit about teaching or inspiring anybody. And it's just like this craze with licensure and certification and authorization that, we strayed away from the idea that, the only one who really can authorize one to do excellent work is oneself at the end of the day. Which is part of the reason I like the idea of working in mental health is, Lacan has this idea that the analyst is the only one who authorizes himself to do his job. And I guess that's kind of keeping in line with, you know, a certain conception of authenticity and spontaneity, and you know, these sort of classical liberal ideals about freedom and subjectivity that, you know, it seems like, you know, to the extent that they have something of value to offer, we stray away from them. And to the extent that they're oppressive and pernicious, you know, we embrace them in you know, our modern sort of liberal democratic climate. And maybe that's cynicism and pessimism coming through on my part, and maybe it's just unqualified sweeping generalizations too. I don't know. It seemed like it was smart to say. So here I am, gearing up for this PT session. Frustrated. I'm frustrated that I have to sort of juggle between these two jobs. You know, I really wish that my boss could just see the soundness and sanity in just giving me, you know, some sort of a New Deal type agreement where it's like, you know what, he could just pay me a salary for the equivalent of $2,400 after taxes a month, you know, and we could keep track. I could still run my time. My quality of work would improve so much, and my interest in the work would improve so much because, you know, of what he'd be putting into it in terms of providing for some almost basic needs. Well, no, they're basic needs. The need for me to have, you know, the dignity of my own place, the need for me to feel like I'm really valued, you know, well enough to where I can support myself reasonably here in very expensive Southern California. The need to have certain vital luxuries, such as, you know, being able to work out, you know, going to jiu-jitsu practice. You know, I need a social life on the one hand, and I need also that third thing, you know, whatever it is, besides work and, you know, just mere entertainment, or, you know, whatever's work and, you know, friendship. But there's always that third thing, you know, besides, you know, work and love, and there's something else, you know, that's so elusive to name, and it's just the ability to shine or be excellent, you know, in an arena that has nothing to do with money or finances or, you know, economics per se. And, you know, I think it's like, it's, you know, we live in a world where we've kind of disabused ourselves of the notion that, you know, we're hunters and fighters, and we're you know, we're animals, and you know, just not being able to sort of exert myself in a way that embraces and accepts, you know, my creatureliness. Is just, it's awful. I can't stand life without that. And, you know, lifting weights is pretty good, you know, it's helpful there, but that's still a little too controlled, a little too rational, not quite expressive enough. But things like, you know, free dive hunting, or, you know, practicing the martial arts, that's more like it, you know, because there's a social dimension to both, and there's also this sort of animal dimension, you know, where you get to really exhaust and exert yourself, and you get to put your powers on display, you know, in terms of your basic sort of kinesthetic situation as an embodied, you know, a creaturely living, breathing being of flesh and blood. And, you know, that for me is such a powerful remedy for pulling me out of my head, and for making me sort of feel, you know, the vitality of that can attend to the human experience. And, you know, when it's missing, it's just, you know, life can start to feel kind of dreary. So I guess all that is to say that I miss all that stuff. I miss being able to do it on a frequent basis, and I don't know, I'd like to get back into it and to be able to sustain it, you know, all of it really, you know, both the martial arts practice, the free diving, the you know, whatever else it may be, you know, spontaneously going for a hike with a friend, a difficult hike, you know, just being able to really challenge myself and also to be in the mix, you know, whether that's being enfolded into the food chain while free diving, or you know, being confronted with somebody who's going to try and turn my arm off if I don't try and choke him out real quickly. It's all stuff that lends a sort of intensity to life that I really do believe life is not worth living without. You know, because it improves your quality of life so much to be able to uh, exert yourself in those ways, to put your prowess and your dominance and your power on display, and to give expression, to give vent to it, as Nietzsche might put it. But anyways, there's all that bullshit. It is just about 3:20, 10-minute drive to the PT office. Get to go there, hear everybody talk about their favorite restaurants, and listen to some 70s butt rock while I get my shit all ground down. Sometimes a pleasant experience, sometimes kind of alienating. But anyways, it's just necessary at this point. I gotta get better. So I'm out, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.